Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. The new fusion is announced. We're going to go through it in this video. There's actually a partnering kind of like element to it as well. It's actually very cool, but I've not even checked out the kits yet, so we're going to get a live reaction of that. The Bastion has been made all Halloweeny. Let's have a quick look around. We've got our pumpkin carts, little skelly bobs in what do you call it, cages and stuff. The arms hanging out is actually good work, Raid. This is what we want to see during like events and stuff. Themed stuff like this. Madame's taken over the market. Has she put good stuff in it? Imagine if she did. Imagine if you'd done that, Raid. You'd actually updated the market and Madame was actually selling sweet stuff. Even if it was just over Halloween, it would have been a massive win. Like just thinking outside the box a little bit would have done you some brownie points there. I like this. Very cool. Just little effects. The smoke coming up. The eye up here. I actually do like it. It's very cool. Good work. Good work. Okay. And Harvest Jack's like, he's in the Guardian ring. He's like, is this where I come to be buffed? Anyway, so as a quick treat before we get into the fusion stuff, we have got here a promo code Spooky17. It's the 17th one, and oh damn, that's actually kind of good. What we got here? Gear removal stuff. 5-star chicken. I love these in here. Bit of silver, bit of energy. But yeah, 5-star chicken's actually decent. So well done, Raid. And quick one before we get into the fusion. I did do a video on Fateless a couple of days back where we looked at the features the community want us to add up and above from what we already had planned. I'll pin that video down below. Come and check it out. It's really interesting when I get to talk about the different ideas and the stuff we're going to add to the roadmap for Godforge. So yeah, check it out. So we're going to start then with Gretel, who's going to be this fusion. She's got the little gingerbread on her arm as a tattoo. Pretty sweet. Kind of cool. Not gone over the top on this one. I think they're trying to make it very kind of like sexy hunter vibe. Probably achieved it, I think. Probably achieved it. Good work. And then we've got the second person they're releasing that is not a fusion, as far as I'm aware. I need to reread it, but obviously it's Hansel and Gretel. Again, hunter vibes. He's ready. Good to go. It's very mysterious. Okay, both look pretty sweet. I don't think, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't think they look as sweet as some of the other Halloween characters that have come out, but they're trying to hit a theme. So I guess that makes some sense. So in fact, let me just make sure I get this right. People always moan about me for reading stuff wrong. Apologies for that. So saying here, from the 31st of October, so a week today, we're planning to launch a fusion event for Gretel. Gretel Hagbane. She's a Sacred Order legendary, attack-based, force affinity. So let's just have a quick look. Sacred Order, force affinity. We've got a number. Attack-based, we've got a couple. I don't think it really matters where you put people in the game now. There's so many champs and stuff that I don't think it would make a lot of difference. So it says here, Gretel's main area of expertise is PvP content. She excels as a damage dealer. People love a damage dealer fusion with turn meter manipulation across most of her skills, with an ability to transform into a powerful AoE attacker in a blender teams. Interesting they're using blender teams there. When paired with Hansel Witch Hunter. Okay, let's have a look then. So Gretel, what's her kit like? First skill here, Evil Undone. Attacks an enemy, 50% chance of putting decreased defense for 2 turns. If Hansel is on the same team, attacks all enemies, 25% chance of putting drop defense on all enemies. Also places an extra hit on enemies under any buffs. That's only if Hansel's around. So, an A1 that does, when booked, 75% chance to put drop defense on, 50% chance on the whole enemy team. The 50% chance is pretty interesting, actually. I kind of like it. Yeah, I do like it when Hansel is around. When he's not, it's a bit meh, whatever, in today's game. Shadow Seeker Bolts. 4-turn cooldown goes to 3. Attacks one enemy 4 times. The first hit ignores defense. The second hit ignores more. The third hit ignores more. And then the fourth hit ignores more. I bet, like, now that I'm in game development stuff, I bet the developers were like, come on, guys. We don't have this in our game. This is a pain in the ass to code this. Why don't we just let her ignore 20% on all the hits? Anyway, pretty cool. If this attack kills someone, resets the cooldown of this skill and gives a 50% turn meter fill. Pretty decent. So you can take one person out, probably. I'd imagine you do take one person out with ignore defense mechanics, 4-hitter if she's a damage dealer. And then you're halfway to your next turn. Plus it's back. So you could cycle this quite quick, I think. Albeit, we've had champions in the past like Ruel, the Huntsmaster, who had this kind of like, I'll get my next turn soon. And it almost like never came soon enough. And he doesn't really sit in the meta. Even though he hits incredibly hard and he's got an interesting kit, that he doesn't get anywhere in the meta. We then got here Sacred Ritual, 4-turn, books to 3. Attacks all enemies, drops turn meter, which you will need accuracy to do. But then if Hansel is around, drops turn meter by 50% instead of 25. And it cannot be resisted, which means no accuracy required for this skill. Interesting. Because the only thing that's what's weird, like whenever you've got someone like this where it's like, oh, I could be your drop defense champ. Well, you need accuracy to do that, which means that your damage build is hampered a decent amount. And as a PvPer, you're susceptible to polymorph as well, which is a bit like, yeah. But this part here where it's like if Hansel's around, it's guaranteed and it's 50%. That's a lot. Decreasing enemy turn meters by 50% is a ton. Then fills this champion's turn meter by 20% for each enemy alive after the attack. Wow. So you're basically dropping the enemies, getting another turn, and then you've got this kind of like mechanic between the two, which could be pretty disgusting, honestly. It's like Armand's, but instead of stunning people, you're killing them. Damn. We've then got Sisterly Bond here as a passive, which is on a 3-turn cooldown for the active part. So the passive part fills the turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. Ooh, that's interesting. So if a mythical champ flips form, does that count? Does the metamorph count as an extra turn? I wonder how it's worded, actually. He's a bad example. Grants an extra turn. Yeah, damn. That's actually kind of massive. So 50% turn meter fill every time a mythical changes form. That's quite cool. If Hansel's on the same team, also fills their turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. So both of them getting 50% turn meter fill. And then the active here, if Hansel's on the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates Sacred Ritual, which is the AoE. So if Hansel goes down, if he's cannon fodder, she's saying, by the way, goodbye turn meter. I'm assuming you still get the turn meter decrease if he's dead as a guaranteed. A bit like if Venus and Cupidus are on the same team, it still happens. I assume that happens. If it does, it's actually very good. Attack in all battles by 30% as an aura. I think this is an interesting champ. Definitely boosts a lot by having Hansel on the same team. So let's see if he is any good. Obviously, this isn't a fusion, so you would have to pull him some way, or maybe they'll do like a guaranteed event of some sort for him, which, you know, they're expensive and all that type of stuff if you're going for him, but we'll see. So what we got here, Purge All Evil is also Sacred Order. 50% chance of placing Weaken, and if Gretel's around, attacks all enemies. Basically, the same skill as Gretel, but it's Weaken instead of decreased defense. It's actually pretty cool between them, actually. I like the way they've done that. And places an extra hit on enemies under any debuffs. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If these guys have got decent multipliers on that A1 and you get them on the same team, it could be like mincemeat for the enemy. I like it. Sanctified Knives here on the A2. Books to a 3-turn. Double hitter, ignore shield and unkillable. And gets an extra turn if he kills someone. Okay. Baneful Burst on a 4, goes to 3. Attacks all enemies, ignores 15% of each target's defense, and increases the cooldown of a random skill. Again, this needs accuracy to do that. If Gretel's around, ignores 30% defense, and will increase the cooldown of skills by 2, and you do not need accuracy to do it. Cannot be resisted. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Locking people out, needing 0 accuracy to do it. There's no counterplay to that. The only counterplay is I'm actually a mythical champion. Sorry, you didn't get me. Wow. That's kind of nuts. We've got a passive here. Brotherly Bond. Passive reflects all fear and true fear from this champion to the attacker. Okay. If Gretel's around, also reflects fear and true fear from Gretel. Does that need accuracy? Does a reflecting and debuff need accuracy? I've got no idea, actually. I don't know if it's a mechanic we really see. Who else does that? Yumiko does it, I think. I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think you need accuracy because you're doing it and the accuracy's already been applied to apply the debuff in the first place. So I think that's a 0 accuracy requirement to do it, I think. But I'm not 100% sure of the mechanic there. The active, if Gretel is on the same team and is killed, instantly activates the AoE from this guy. So if either of them go down, the other one's mincing up the enemy. Really, actually pretty fun pairing. The only thing I'd say is neither of them have got an inbuilt way to stay alive. So kind of like, and they're both going to be built for damage. So if one's going down, probably both are going down. But it's definitely interesting. It's a bit like a Heffrack with a partner Heffrack. You know, it's like, if you kill my Heffrack, then the other one's going off. Similar type of vibe. A lot will depend on how hard these two can hit and how you can build a team that actually enables them. Like, they don't ignore any stone skin or anything like that, so they kind of need an extra turn to be going anywhere with this. But I actually think quite an interesting pairing. Gretel on her own, if she's got good multipliers, I think will be fun. But obviously powers up a ton when you get Hansel as well. So guys, let me know. What do you think? In the comments down below. This one's, the fusion's starting next week, obviously at Halloween. And yeah, I guess let's find out what people want to do. Is this one you want to skip or you want to do? Let me know. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.